That Eleanor drives.
So that's the setup.
I'll tell you before you can start. Okay, all the joints are brought tight. The last joint, once it's brought together and it's curved in, is left a saw cut apart, so that when we shrink the tire on, they'll come in nice and tight against the spokes. Here. I don't. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
So that will guarantee that that end is going to match perfectly to that one, because they've both been cut with the same blade. This will bring them pretty close. Once I get it around, I make the final saw cut, that kerf that separates them. Right.
It's done by hand.
It's done by hand.
Yeah, and all the fitting of the joints between the fellies is mostly done by hand too. The chop saw gets it into the right grid square, more or less. Yeah, you can show them putting the clamp on. I got ahead of myself, Tom. Stand down on that.
How do I do to show that?
Make a mark where the tenons go.
Sort of in situ there.
Yeah, you bring it up because there's a bit of difference between each felly, so you can't assume that you can't make them all in a jig. They more or less have got to be fitted one at a time.
Okay. All right. Yes, these are not straight out the end.
They're in the tenons are perpendicular to the center line of the axle.
The center line of the axle. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Which is there, and then goes to there, and therefore the hole should match right there. And if they don't quite match, then use.
Well, the thing is, because these come out.
Oh, I see.
You've got to pull them.
Of course, to get them started.
Pull them to get them started, which is why you don't.
Got them started.
See, once you get them started, they go on easy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Now they look like they're not off, they're a little bit off true, but that will be solved, right?
Yeah, well this is what this does.
Okay.
See, these locks the fellies in place.
Right.
And then I take the handsaw and I saw it till I got it an exact fit. And then once I get an exact fit, then I take one more cut.
Okay. So exact fit plus one cut.
Yeah, there's only one extra cut for the whole wheel.
Wow.
All the other fellies are snug.
So you've made a cut.
Yeah, see how it pinches in?
Mm-hmm.
Probably got ruined. I'm going to bring this together.
So that will pull it in while you're working on it.
Yeah, that's it's a felly clamp.
Yeah, which you invented.
No, I didn't invent. This is they've had felly clamps for centuries. I just made it so that it worked right off the stand.
Oh, I see. So it's all one operation.
Well, it's just easier. They made up a ring that would go underneath the on one side of the hub
Right.
or the other, but I found that awkward when I had it. So when I made this stand up, I made it so that the bottom one can fit right on the stand. It still pulls from the same place. It's just that it's easier to hook up.
So now there's tension on that.
Yeah,
Inward
well-
tension.
So what we'll do is we'll key that together, then I can move the clamp down to the other side, and then I'll kerf that in. And I'll keep kerfing it in until it's just bang on, and then take an extra kerf.
Okay. So you do it on one side and then you move over to the other side.
Yeah, the last one is a bit fussy because you're doing it on both sides. All the other ones, you're only doing it on one side.
Right. So this is the same process except this time you have to do both sides.
Yeah. Some hickory that they banded the rims in.
So instead of regular biscuits, yours are made of hickory.
Yeah, they're white hickory.
So they'd be pretty tough.
Yeah. We can get around that. See, the biscuit will hold it in position, but it allows you to move the felly in and out. That won't much matter to Worden anyways, because he'll probably get me to do it.
But we're teaching you how, Warden. This is it. So he's going to do one more cut, and that'll make it. See, it's just on the outside. It's not quite fitting in place yet.
Can,
Yeah.
well, I guess show the last cut.
Yeah, we'll show the last cut.
It should be, yeah.
So this could be the last cut,
Yeah.
because it's almost in place. A little bit tight. Oops. Quick reaction. And the biscuits are in place so that they can be taken out in case he has to saw on that side again. But there's no biscuit on this side yet. That's Michael cutting steel in the background there. So, one kerf thickness there.
Yeah, that's one saw cut. And this might be the, could be the last one.
Little tiny crack. A little less of a crack.
That'll be,
That tickety-boo.
no.
Not quite.
Actually, I've got a bit of a, I didn't take it all the way through.
It actually looks bigger in the picture than it really is in real life. Because there is no space there.
So once that's in and tight, We set the, we'll set our wedges in.
You set your...
The wedges in.
Okay.
And you make the split this way, so that when you put the wedge in, you're pressing against
Oh, the full width of the...
the long grain and not the side grain.
Oh, okay. So just a little trimming there, and trimming there at this joint.
Yeah, that joint will be trimmed.
Poor light in here just makes it hard for the camera to focus, but there it's focusing, so that will be trimmed to come nice and smooth.
See, this is the part I rigged up.
Yeah,
That makes it so I can just slide it in and out.
that's fantastic.
Otherwise, you're tripping over the friggin' thing all the time.
So that's making them uniform. So that cut works?
Yeah.
So you know how these work. Just putting another biscuit in there, again made of hickory, so it'll last, but it's nice and square and tight. By putting
the outside diameter of my fourth wheel is exactly the same circumference as the outside diameter of my third wheel. Hey!
Fantastic.
Holy crap.
So what you've done is you've just tacked the banding in place and then put it around, and this way you're going to get an exact measurement.
And I make a scribe, but 3 and 4 are exactly the same.
So normally you would scribe that right there and have an exact measurement for the tire itself. Okay.
See, that way I can put the wheel on and I can use the banding to measure the tires later.
Okay.
Tires.
1/4 inch nip in your tires?
Yeah, well,
What's a nip and why do it?
well actually it's heavy quarter, light 3/8, and what that does is when I weld it together, I put it on hot and it pulls all the wheel in, tightens all the joints.
Okay. So you're putting it up on upside down because that's the way that one book showed you to do it?
Yeah, that's the...
Okay, so this is the beginning of another one. And it's now in place. So you just sort of center it. Pretty close on both sides.
Make an X on the, so you know where the back is.
So you know what the top or so-called back is.
Bring it out, see where your tenon is, because the tenons aren't always bang on.
Same thing you did on the last one.
Yeah. First one's the easiest to do, the last one's the hardest.
Yeah.
First one you don't have to fit up to anything.
No.